fighting types in Pokemon Pocket have always been just outside the meta. They're usually sitting around B tier. They can do well sometimes, but they really never had the tools in order to take on numerous different matchups. Usually just taking some strong matchups to all the lightning stuff that was out there. But with Mythical Island, we now have a bunch of new tools for fighting type decks to utilize. So I'm going to show you what I've been working on. This is my fighting type toolbox deck. If you guys are enjoying the content, please be sure to sub to the channel. I have about 25,000 of you that keep coming back to the channel but have yet to subscribe. So if that sounds like it's you, please consider doing so. I would really appreciate it. Okay, here we are looking at the list, and we're sort of building off of old ideas. We have that Primeape and Marowak line that you're used to seeing. These two just work very, very well together, but we now have some new attackers that can sort of smooth things over in the mid game and in the late game. Primeape is just always going to be one of the best starters you can have if you're going second. You can get up to a Primeape doing 100 damage on your second turn if you go second. Very, very powerful. We also have the Marowak EX, can just be super aggressive or come in that mid to late game to take some big knockouts. Just a solid card overall. Our first new attacker that we have is the Marshadow. Marshadow is a great revenge killer, as they're called. One of your Pokemon gets knocked out, Marshadow can come up and hit for 100 damage. Just super, super good. You put one energy on it, leave it on the bench, and it's a constant threat for your opponent. Usually you want to go into this right after your Primeape gets knocked out and go clean up whatever Primeape didn't quite get through. And then for our late game attackers, I wanted to go with a blend of both the Marowak and the Aerodactyl. So sometimes I've had games where all I really need is that 80 damage confirmed to win the game over the course of 2 turns. Like maybe I just need to hit 80 damage twice. I don't necessarily need to blow anything up, but I just need to hit 80 damage 2 times and I will win the game. Aerodactyl is there for that. Aerodactyl is also there for that nice Primeval Law ability. Could slow your opponent down potentially. Again, we're really just sort of building a toolbox here. So we have a bunch of very low energy attackers that we can pivot between and use when needed. We just have a lot of options in this deck. We have a bunch of different attackers. Who knows when they're going to come up, but you'll usually find that they're all pretty important. We have 2 XP, 2 Pokeball, 2 Old Amber, 2 Research, a Giovanni, and a Sabrina. I'm fine with just going with the one Aerodactyl. As I've said, it's not exactly the most important attacker in this deck, and you can usually find that one Aerodactyl when you need it, because he's always going to be like a late game guy anyways. Marowak can take the mid game himself. He can also be the late game if needed if you don't find the Aerodactyl. Either way, just a bunch of options. I've been really enjoying this deck. It's a ton of fun. Super aggressive, super quick. You hit for a good weakness, and it takes some pretty good matchups in the meta. So let's get into some games. So we're going second here, and the Mankey start would be fantastic. We have just like every Pokemon in our deck. But the fact that I have Marowak in hand already, and it's a lightning type deck, I think I'm fine with going Marowak. We will bench a Mankey, and we'll just leave the hand at that. Yeah, so there's Pikachu. We're going to get the first hit in with Marowak. Always feels good. It just, once again, I don't have any research in hand that make me feel like getting into that Primeape quickly is too likely. So I just want to start with the Marowak and get aggressive on him. I have the chance to one-shot the Pikachu next turn. Or not next turn, but in 2 turns. It's only a 25% chance, though, so I'm not banking on it, but... Okay, so he's putting the Galvantula in there. Not really something I'm too worried about. We find the Marshadow too, so that's cool. We'll go ahead and bench him. He is fantastic because he actually one-shots Pikachus. Pretty impressive for a single prize or basic. Don't have to do much work. Just once one of my Pokemon's knocked out, I go up with the Marshadow, and that's a knockout. Yeah, Marshadow is just very, very strong. Its only requirement being that something was knocked out on the last turn is pretty good. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that Marshadow. I think it's a really good extra option for this deck. All right, there's our Giovanni. Not needed at this time. We're going to get the Marowak all set up. I'm leaving that bench spot open in case I find an Old Amber or something. Oh, please, 1 heads at least. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So now we don't even have to swing with Marowak again if we don't want to. We could maybe just retreat into the Mankey to confirm the kill. if he's going to swing with this Pikachu. I almost wouldn't be surprised if he just left. It just backs out that Pikachu and goes into something else, but just to not give us 2 prizes. But this is what fighting type decks do best, is overwhelm electric type decks. I mean, it's so difficult for them. We have so much HP with our EXs that it's really not hard for us. It's a very, very favorable matchup. Okay, so he's gonna look for a knockout here. I'm just gonna give him the Mankey because I have another one in hand, and the Marshallow's the only one I got. That's how he wants to play it. That's fine. I guess seeing that he only has 2 bench Pokemon, I could have gone for... I could have sent up a Marshadow and said, you don't have the knockout. But I wasn't really that concerned either way. Okay, so he's just going to send up the Magnemite. That's okay. It looks like he's getting ready to attack with Galvantula next turn. And I do want this knockout. Well, no, I can just get this knockout with Giovanni. So let's just do that. Yeah, I'm fine with this. That way I have a potential Primeape next turn if he doesn't get the knockout somehow, and we go up 1 prize. And from there, Marowak might just be able to handle the rest of what my opponent has. Right? If he goes into a Galvantula here, Galvantula only has 80 HP. I'm not sure if it's weak to fighting. I would assume it is. I can't imagine a better type for an electric type Galvantula to be weak to. But we should just be able to come in and explode it. There he is. Yep, 80 HP, does 70 damage with that Electro Web attack. Now, pending any bad Marowak flips, we'll be okay here. We'll be okay here. If I had had the X-Speed, I probably would have retreated out there to save the attachment for a point when it matters a little bit more. If we top deck Sabrina, we win, by the way. Because we'll bench Mankey and retreat into it. How do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? Give me that, Sabrina. Play it. Okay, well, that's the game. Very, very easy to beat Lightning decks with this deck. That was really the Marowak show, but I mean, when it's Lightning, it doesn't matter what you're attacking with. Usually it's good enough. Oh, I was like, what are we waiting for? It was me. I did not start the battle. We do have the instant Aerodactyl in hand, so that's fine. That's a guaranteed attacker. The rest of our hand's actually pretty good. So let's bench both old Ambers, because again, we can just discard the one that we're not using whenever. Gets it out of the deck. And we see X-Speed and Marshadow. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'll go ahead and I'll bench the Marshadow now. And I think we'll just pass over. Now, as long as we don't get Mistied, if we don't get Mistied hardcore here, things will look okay. Aerodactyl can trade into the Articuno decently well, especially if I get the first hit in with my EX. It's really just about dodging Misty at this point. He does play the Greninja in here, though. Okay. So, makes things a little bit scarier. Let's research and see what we find. Another X-Speed and a Primeape. Okay. Nothing that we really care about. We'll just go ahead and we'll evolve into the Aerodactyl. We stop evolutions in the active spot, but he has the Articuno in the active, so it's not going to do anything. If he had started Staryu, though, we would have just wasted an attachment for him, and he would have had no way to evolve it without retreating it out into something else. So, the Aerodactyl comes up sometimes. Not very often, though. Not very often, though. Its ability is like maybe 1 out of every 15 games. You'll get some value out of it. And just an Ice Wing. Okay, cool. So we've successfully dodged any sort of Misties. Find Pokeball. So we can... And I like this. So we can go get Primeape, because I assume we're probably going to get Blizzarded this turn. And that's going to build up the damage on our Primeape for us. So I'm gonna go for that. I would like that to happen. Now we got Aerodactyl in the active spot. There is a route to victory for him just by getting into Greninja, pinging the Cubone. I really want that Marowak soon so I can stop that play from happening. But until he gets into a Frogadier, I guess I'm not really that worried about it. Only passively worried about it. But it is possible for him to just snipe my Cubone and knock out this Aerodactyl, and that'll be the game for him. Now that I bench that Mankey, it might make him think twice about... Yeah, see, he's not even gonna swing with that Articuno. So, if he's just gonna Ice Wing, still no Greninja. There's the Marowak. So, I have 40 damage gone. I've got 100 left. Who do I want to attach to this turn? I think it's got to be the Marowak. I think Marowak's just going to be the best second attacker after this. And I'll go ahead and I'll evolve the Primeape up right now. And we'll Land Crush, take our 2. And now we could just hope we find that Sabrina and take out what's on the bench instead of having to go through the Starmie. I am a little concerned by how he played that there is going to be a bit of Giovanni shenanigans on this turn. A Giovanni plus a Frogadier would be just devastating for us. Okay, but just a research. So, yeah, it's not the worst. That's not the worst thing in the world. We know our Aerodactyl's living. Still no Frogadier? Still no Frogadier. Okay, so now we're in a very, very good spot. And at this point, we got to start divvying up the energy. So we're going to put 1 on Marshadow. And now look, now depending on what happens next turn, I have the choice between swinging with a guaranteed 100 from Marshadow or potentially needing to go in with the Marowak. Either way, looking pretty good. There's his Frogadier finally. 1 turn too late, sadly, for him. If he had that last turn or just at any point sooner in the game, I think things could have looked different for him. But that's the thing. We're running our low to the ground stage 1s, and he's got a stage 2. So we're going to come out ahead consistency-wise most of the time. Just a potion there. Even a second potion's not going to matter. If you knock this thing out, I got guaranteed game on board. Marshadow comes up, swings for 100, knocks out anything you have. That's fine. I'm gonna give him the Primeape. He might still be going. Well, no, he can't. He can't. Now I just have guaranteed game with Aerodactyl. Huh. Unless he was to potion this Starmie, then I need Sabrina or what is his name? Then I need Sabrina or Giovanni, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He's just going to retreat into the Frogadier, not even attached to it. There's the Giovanni in case there was a second potion. But yeah, man, I mean, that's just an attach to Primeape and retreat into Aerodactyl, and that's GG's. That's GG's. Look how awesome this full art is, too. I wish I had gotten the rainbow version. I had horrible luck with my packs. But either way, I got a cool Aerodactyl at least. I got one cool one. All right, the true test here. We got a Psychic deck. Always been a problem for fighting types. Mewtwo just has so much HP that it's hard to get through, and it's even worse when you're going first. This seems to be the video of going first. So just so you guys know, every single game I'm playing on tryhard mode just by going first. It gets infinitely more difficult. All of your attackers take 2 energy to attack, and when you don't get that first attachment in, things look a lot worse for you already. Like next turn, I could get knocked out by a Giovanni plus his first attack. It's not totally likely, because they usually only play 1. Some of them are even opting to drop the Giovanni, maybe to make room for the new stuff in the format. But like I said, there is a chance. We also just don't get to take advantage of the Primeape at all. Like the best we could do is retreat into it. Well, I guess, you know what? Hey, I can Growl. I can Growl and let myself survive another turn. Nice. If he doesn't bench anything else, I'm going to look to Sabrina, that guy on the bench, up. 100%. Especially if it turns into a Curlia. That guy, okay, well, all right. He's here to stay. He's here to stay. Yep, and dang it, man! Oh, this is why this is hard. This is why this matchup's so hard, especially going first. At least going second, I would have gotten a free attack in before taking any damage or really being worried about Gardevoir coming out. But that's not the case. So, our only hope is Marowak goes dummy stupid mode and can knock out with Bone Meringue. One, come on, dummy stupid mode. All right, man, all right. Haha. Concede, wrap it up. You're done. You're done. Concede, wrap it up. You don't gotta stick around for this one, man. You don't gotta. He wants to. He's a brave soldier. All right. So what? We're probably gonna get smacked for 50 here. And that's okay. I don't mind getting smacked. Nope. Just the delayed concede. All right. Bye-bye. Going second with the ideal Primeape start. Exactly what we want to see. Exactly what we want to see. Liking this quite a bit. We're up against a fire deck, so who knows what it could be. My odds are... Okay, start with the Moltres. I was immediately wrong. I was going to say my bets are on Blaine's deck, because I feel like everyone's been hype on Blaine's now that we have a bunch of new tools for it. But I'm curious to see what they're playing with Moltres. I've been thinking about like an Arcanine Moltres that utilizes the new accompanying flute card. I think that's what it's... I actually don't know what it's called in this game. Oh, great. He has maybe Aerodactyl. But I've been thinking about an Arcanine deck that uses that item card, that new item card that puts a basic onto the bench, plus a Volcarona to sort of act as your late game win condition. 2 Pokeballs, find us Marshadow and another Mankey. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, cool thing we can do is if he gets into his own Aerodactyl, I can X-Speed out into my old Amber, discard it, or pivot out into it, evolve up into Primeape, discard it, get right back into the Primeape. So that's something that's interesting. Now, I don't know if he's going to be playing that Aerodactyl. I don't really know why that's the one you would go for. I don't know why an Aerodactyl would be in here anyways. There it is, though. My guess is this is how people were playing Arcanine early days. When that first Arcanine list came out onto the scene, this is what they played in it. They played this Aerodactyl to act as a 50% chance to make your Charizard matchup better, or, you know, Mewtwo if they have a fully powered up Mewtwo. And we just find our own Aerodactyl. Okay, so now we don't need to worry about that old Amber play, so we can just go ahead and evolve up into him. And where's my energy going to go after? I mean, dude, this is tough for him now. I'm swinging 100 every single turn. He would need a Giovanni in order to knock me out. Yeah, this is just hard for him. I think I'm fine with it is the Arcanine deck. Okay. So Aerodactyl's going to do fine against this. Marowak's going to do fine against this. We're both going to be in a two-shotting war. I like going with the Aerodactyl more here. He just has the Giovanni. Okay. That sucks. It's actually pretty rough for us. I didn't expect to get hit with that instantly. But we have options. We can send out the Marshadow, who's not going to get blown up. I'm going to bench second Cubone. And I guess we're just going to attach the Aerodactyl. Would have loved for that not to happen. So what needed to go right for our opponent there? He had to have flipped 2 heads on his Inferno Dance. High roll. High roller. No skill, high roller. Yeah, Heat Blast. All right, so no second Giovanni, which makes me happy. And there's our own Marowak. Okay, so we can evolve up into that Marowak. Retreat into Aerodactyl. We can swing once with Aerodactyl. Then we might just have to retreat. Oh boy, this is getting tough now, actually. This is kind of getting rough. Him having that play on the second turn made our lives so much more difficult because, again, we need 2 energy attached to all of our Pokemon in order to attack. And when we don't get a head start like that, we get into a weird spot like this, where now Moltres is going to hit me for, well, 80. Okay. Not really relevant. And I can't stay in here in case he has that Arcanine ready to go on the bench. So, I have to, as fun as it is, retreat into the Marshadow, let it get knocked out, and then go up with Marowak, and then hope we dodge a Sabrina, or dodge Arcanine, I guess. He still hasn't shown me that he has Arcanine. He's down to 6 cards in deck, though, so he's getting close to it, if he doesn't already have it. He's going to need to evolve into it, though. Because otherwise, he can't just send it up. I guess that was something else. Like, how many X-Speed does he use, though? 1 X-Speed? There was a chance. There was a chance he wouldn't have even been able to evolve into the Arcanine on the next turn. But that's, I guess, what I'm going to be hoping for the most here. Is that Marowak will take this knockout. I just need 1 heads flips. Just 1 heads. And then maybe he doesn't quite have the evolution into Arcanine plus the Sabrina that he needs, plus the XP that he will need to pivot back into the Arcanine. Research, okay, that's cool, because I want my second Marowak here to avoid the Sabrina play. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now we're just going to have 2 Marowak that our opponent has to get through. We'll bench the old Amber just because. Doesn't matter. Bone Meringue, okay, don't scam me. Don't scam me, dude. Okay, oh my gosh. I hate Marowak so much. I hate him, dude. I hate him. That's why I'm like, now I'm buddy-buddy with Aerodactyl, because it's just guaranteed do the 80 damage every time. That's why he's so nice in here, because sometimes, like in that situation, had I not been attacking with Aerodactyl first, I just needed a guaranteed 80, I would have been able to get it. But he sends up the Growlithe. I feel like he doesn't know, I feel like he's forgetting something. I think Buddy's forgetting something. Aerodactyl power right now. You're seeing it live. Yeah, that's just a straight up... bro does not read cards too well. And what you do from here, you can retreat into the Aerodactyl. Sure, sure. And then evolve. Yeah, man. Yup. Yup. So Aerodactyl will steal you a few games like that on the ladder. For sure. And now... I mean, I think we just want a Sabrina. Right? He can either give me 1 of 2 cards that lose him the game, or he can give me 1 card that I want to swing into early. I want to hit this Arcanine before he hits me. Alright, Marowak, either end it or just hit 1 heads. Just hit 1 heads. Thank you. Why you always gotta make me stress, dude? What's up with that, man? So... he could potion and heal it, but he's gonna take 20 damage here. I have that guaranteed 80 in the back with the Aerodactyl still. Which, again, very, very good. Because, like, the only way that we would lose this game now at this point is if... does that matter? Not really. The only way we really lose this game now is if Marowak goes double tails. But I don't have to worry about that. I guess I could start getting pivoted on right now. No, just going to concede. Not even going to go for it.